President Trump's Supreme Court has just double-crossed him again. Of course, we remember what happened in 2020. A very strong case was brought by the Attorney General of Texas, claiming that voters there had been disenfranchised because of voter irregularities and possible fraud in a number of swing states. The Supreme Court refused to hear it. These were Trump's own Supreme Court justices. They are part of the establishment, particularly Chief Justice John Roberts and Coney Barrett. They are basically leftists in conservative clothing. They lied to get on the court to begin with, and they haven't proved to be conservatives at all. But this is a bigger problem here, not just the Supreme Court, which doesn't hold itself accountable to the rules of ethics. In fact, Roberts said years ago, we don't have to abide by the code of judicial conduct because we're the Supreme Court and it doesn't apply to us, and it's probably unconstitutional. He also said that they don't have to do anything other than give themselves immunity. They gave themselves immunity, and they gave all the lower court federal judges immunity too. That doesn't exist in the Constitution, doesn't exist in legislation. They took it from ancient England, from King George III, who gave his judges immunity so they could rubber stamp his illegal edicts. But we've got a whole cavalcade of lower court, primarily Obama, Clinton, and Biden judges, leftist Democrat judges, who are thwarting President Trump at every step of the way, and they're joining him. And this decision today will be used, the Supreme Court decision, to uphold their rulings as well. The bottom line is this, is that these Supreme Court justices and lower court justices, some of them need to be impeached. Some of them need to be prosecuted in our citizens' grand juries, citizens' trials. They need to spend some time in the slammer to think through why they're there, why they have violated their oath of office, which is in effect criminal. The biggest problem we have in this country domestically, it's not even terrorism, it's these judges. As I've said a million times, Thomas Jefferson said, federal judges unelected, thinking that they're unaccountable to the people, would become despots and tyrants, causing us to shed the blood of patriots and tyrants yet again every 20 years or so. What's a few thousand dead to refresh the tree of liberty? It's a natural manure of government. He didn't want to see anybody harmed or killed, and neither do I. But these judges need to be taught a lesson. And it's not going to come from the Republican head of the House Judiciary Committee, which is responsible for overseeing judges. Jim Jordan, former wrestling coach from Ohio State, who has his own skeletons, maybe that's why he doesn't take action, thinking that he might be in court someday in front of one of these judges. All he does is go on Fox News and pontificate and hold meaningless hearings that have nothing to do other than promoting himself for fundraising. He hasn't held one hearing in 8 years with any judge, even asked them questions about why they're doing what they're doing, subverting the will of the people. He needs to be thrown out as well if he doesn't do anything. And we need to rise up. So Freedom Watch is doing a report on these federal judges, and we're going to put it right in front of him and get the American people to force him to do his job. But we're also going to be prosecuting these judges in our citizens' grand juries and citizens' trials. We've done that with Biden, with bribery from communist China, Ukraine, and Russia. We've done it with Biden with regard to negligent homicide in Afghanistan. He got 20 years each for that, along with his lovely son, Hunter, and his brother, James. Fauci got life imprisonment. He's killed over 20 million people with what he did worldwide. This is where we are, and we need to do it now. Now, here's another thing that you have to keep in mind, is that yesterday, the president gave an excellent State of the Union speech. This use of race to constantly try to claim that anyone who is white is a racist, in effect, was on display. This Representative Green, I forget his name, I don't care to really know it, gets up, screams, carries on, and forces the Speaker of the House to have him removed forcibly by the Sergeant at Arms. That was done on purpose. That was done because they wanted a black guy to be removed so they could claim racism against blacks. Well, it's time that everybody's treated equally. Blacks didn't have any special privileges. No one should have any special privileges. And it was right that Speaker Johnson had him removed. But this is the game the Democrats play. They sit there even when people are being given recognition for the tragedies that have occurred to them and how the government should have helped them. And the Democrats sit there smirking, doing nothing, not applauding, just sitting there like the logs that they are the brain dead, evil people. The bottom line is this, and I'm nonpartisan, but let me call it like it is. I am a registered Republican, but, I don't think the Republican Party has served the American people either. President Trump's not really a Republican. The only reason they fall in line is because he can have them defeated in their election races. But the fact is that the Democrat Party is pure evil. They are the disciple of the devil. And you saw it last night. You saw it because they have absolutely no compassion for people that were killed by illegal immigrants or anybody else. They don't care. They simply don't care. And that is why we, the people, need to rise up, and we need to do it for ourselves. We need to support President Trump. Even the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is defied within her own Justice Department. The FBI failed to turn over the documents with regard to Jeffrey Epstein. And of course, we know why. Jeffrey Epstein was probably a CIA plant. They were gathering dirt on people to blackmail them. And in addition, probably half of Washington, D.C. and Hollywood would be exposed for participating in sex trafficking with young women. The government is corrupt top to bottom. President Trump and Elon Musk are fighting against that. Larry Klayman is fighting against that. Not just by getting documents. You can take documents, hang them on the wall, they're great. And they'll also get you on Fox News. And you can raise a lot of money for people to think that you're actually doing something great. But, we need to bring hard-hitting cases. And that's what we do at Freedom Watch. And we bring citizens' grand juries, people's justice. And we need your help. We need you to join our Justice League. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. Get my book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution. Wake Up America. Gives you a roadmap as to how we can reform the judiciary. And we need a government department, just like DOJ. We need a department of legal anti-weaponization of the legal system. And I hope to work with Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. She can't do it on her own. 95% of the lawyers at the Justice Department want to slit her throat. They're Democrat and leftist. She's going to need help. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, contribute to our cause, and please join our Justice League. And remember, God will only help us if we help ourselves. Thank you for listening to me. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast.